Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Vanda Mohi Savadana Mate Chahara Prasade Ba He Bhavadoriya Chahara Jahar Krishna Prati Hoy Jahar Hoy Te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Kya Harana Koriyo Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttama Gati Je prasare pure sarva asha चक्षुधाधिल जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति जायते अभिजा विनाश गते गाय जहर चरितो श्री गुरु करुण सिंधु अजबाज नारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुण सिंधु अजबाज नारा बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा प्रभु करो दया ते हमरे पार छाया हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पार छाया हे बेजा सरस्वती पुबाना हे बेजा सरस्वती पुबाना हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पार छाया हा प्रभु करो दया देह मोरे पार छाया हे बेजा सरस्वती पुबाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतिता पावना Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desetarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Radhanatha Radha Radhanatha Radha Radhanatha Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Radhanatha Radha Radhanatha Radha Radhanatha Shri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Jaya Gora Hari. Jaya Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Gora Hari, Jaya Gora Hari. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitya Gora Haribol, 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 Nitya Gora Haribol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ostatera Sita Sri Sriman His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parabhajakacharya Ostatera Sita Sri Sriman His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gaudi Vaishnavindi Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki, Jagannath Subhadra Balaram Ki, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki, Gaura Hari Ki, Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, December Book Marathon Ki, Temple of the Vedic Planetarium Ki, Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple Ki, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Hare Krishna to one and all. A very warm welcome and thank you to each and every one of you for attending today's Sunday Love Feast program. For those of you all that are joining us for the very first time, thank you very much and a very special warm welcome to you all. So before we start the program, a very humble request for each and every one of you to please turn off or switch off your cell phone or turn it to silent mode, please. So I have the privilege and honor of welcoming our guest for today's Sunday Love Feast program. His Grace Kshudi Das Prabhu. A huge round of applause for him. His Grace Kshudi Das Prabhu is a disciple of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. His Grace Kshudi Prabhu first came into contact with devotees on the 5th of January 1970 at Laguna Beach, California. He was initiated by his spiritual master, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, on the 27th of March 1971 at a festival in Mumbai. He was sent to South Africa in September 1972 and was alone preaching for 6 months during very turbulent times in South Africa, but because those were the times of apartheid. So we are very grateful and indebted to Kshudi Prabhu for his commitment to the South African Rath Yatras. He currently travels to Vrindavan in India. He travels to Indonesia, Laguna Beach in California, and here in South Africa. Today, Prabhu's topic will be Srila Prabhupada's book marathon. So another huge round of applause for His Grace Kshudi Prabhu.
So thankful to be here with all of you. First, I will address my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, I'm in Africa now. I hope this gives me an opportunity to increase my service to you. Before I came here, in my mind, the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium and the South African Yatra are so connected because Prabhupada laid the cornerstone with all of his God brothers. And he had a spirit of cooperation. He said, now that we're all together, the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta will stay together and form a governing body. And they didn't do it. They all said Jai. But the next day I said, Srila Prabhupada, I'm going to Africa now, and I hope this gives me an opportunity to increase my service to you. And Prabhupada put his hands behind his head and he said, service to Lord Chaitanya, service to Lord Chaitanya, service to Lord Chaitanya. So I'm not any special devotee, but I have some special circumstances. Prabhupada wrote to me that I am praying to Krishna that you will have the strength and enthusiasm to carry out this mission. It's kind of like you may not be good with money, but if somebody sends you a couple 100 billion rand, you might do well with it. So it's like that. And for knowledge, well, they say with a computer, garbage goes in and garbage comes out. I use the same theory, but I don't use garbage. I use Krishna conscious knowledge. And after we'll speak, I think 12:30 is the artik, and what time they serve prasadam? At 1 o'clock, when we go downstairs, I would like many people to gather around me. I came a long ways here to meet all of you. Places like Dubai are on the way to so many places, but Dina Bandhu calls this the Dur Van, because Dur means far and Van means forest. So this is far away from everywhere else. I can't say, I was going to Durban on the way to Los Angeles or London. It's way down here on the bottom. You go to Cape Town, you can throw stones and almost hit Antarctica. Not quite, but it is pretty far south. So today I thought what we could speak on was developing the qualities that make us dear to Krishna, and how these qualities relate to the book distribution, which we do all year long, but particularly in this month of December. And these will be correlative terms, meaning that when you develop these qualities, it makes your book distribution more successful. And when you do book distribution, it makes these qualities come alive. So it's working it from both ends. The qualities make the book distribution better, and the book distribution makes the qualities come alive. So the whole idea of this is we're doing this not to make money, not to impress someone, not hoping they will film us and put us on TV. But we are doing this because the spiritual master Prabhupada wants it. His spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, had a printing press right at the altar. And he told Prabhupada, when you get money, you print books. And so Prabhupada said that when Giriraj said to Prabhupada, Giriraj, he was Giriraj at the time, now he's Giriraj Swami, many people are initiated by him. He said, Srila Prabhupada, I think your main two projects are the Temple of the Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur and the distribution of books. And he says, yes, you have understood my mind and my desires. So we will read a verse. The idea is that it makes us dear to Krishna and dear to the spiritual master. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, when he writes the Guru Vastika that we sing, he says the secret of success is to please the spiritual master. So we'll read a couple of verses here. I'll read one in Sanskrit. The 12th chapter, entitled Devotional Service, texts 13 and 14 are Advaishta Sarvabhutanam, Maitreya Karuna Evacha, Nirmamo Nirahankara, Samaduka Shuka Kshami, Santushta Satatam Yogi, Yatat Madrida Nishtayaha, Maya Arpati Mano Budhir, Yo Mad Bhakta Same Priyaha. How do you like that one? Would have been good if it was translated into English, wouldn't it? Oh, look, it is. Now listen to these things, because these are going to be on the test. I'm going to ask anybody at the end if there's any things you can think of that make you dear to Krishna. And I won't point someone out and say, you have to tell me, but people can raise their hand and say one of them. And here's the idea. One who is not envious, but a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me, such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So this makes us dear to Krishna. And when we're going out to do books, it helps us to develop these qualities. But if we don't already have some, it makes it a little more difficult. Imagine from this, we're approaching random people. If you're envious and you hate everyone, is it going to be easy? They pick up on that, don't they? Vaisheshika, who trains the people how to distribute books, I said in Vrindavan, all these people seem to love you. He says, that's because I love them. So if you're not envious, it's easy to become a kind friend. And if you're a kind friend, it's easy not to be envious of others. And people can tell that. Look at you. Oh, you're one of those, aren't you? Right? Doesn't matter what it is, oh, you're one of those. But if we're a kind friend to all living entities, people pick up on that. And that helps us not be envious. And not being envious, more correlative terms. Not being envious makes you a kind friend. Being a kind friend makes you not envious. You don't think you're a proprietor. You don't own the things, so you're not worried about what happens to them. And you're free from false ego. False ego is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that above the gross matter is the senses. And above the senses, the gross matter is in our body is the earth, water, fire, air. And then above that is the mind, and then the intelligence, and then the false ego. So the false ego is to think, I am this body. The false ego is for someone to think, I'm an Indian, I'm an African, I'm an American, I'm a Zarunian, or whatever they could be, right? They're thinking, as if we're thinking, I'm Mr. Red Shirt, and there's Mr. White Shirt, and there's Mr. Green Shirt, there's Mr. Yellow Shirt, Mr. Black Shirt, and we identify them based on that. This is what the false ego creates. And of course, this kind of thinking makes it difficult to be a kind friend to all living entities, and it makes it difficult to approach such people. So Krishna goes on here. He says he's equal in happiness and distress. Because sometimes we go out, and the good part is it's the service. If we go out to perform any service, say it's books, and we do really well, Krishna's pleased. But if somehow it's a bad day and nobody wants to take from you, do you get any credit for trying? You do. Now, if you're selling cars at an auto dealership and you make good effort but you sell no cars, what do they pay you? 0. And what about people who are real estate agents? If they make a good effort, they still make 0. Now, of course, they may have a learning experience and they may learn how to do it better, which is what we're doing. If we're going out to do books and we find somehow we're not approaching people, then we think that this is a learning experience. How do I get a hold of people, which we'll discuss a little later. Always tolerant. You know, that's the key to things, to tolerate them. You know, some people can tolerate any weather as long as it's not less than 20 or more than 25. Is that a big range? My favorite weather is 37 in the day and 27 at night. And what you call hot here, they call warm in India. Warm is 33 and 37. Cold is 3 and 7. Hot is 48 and 50. But they say it's 50, but it's not hot because it's dry heat. That works at 30, but not at 50. That's what the Greeks call a fallacy. It sounds good. You know, there's so many fallacies, things that sound like, oh, well, nobody believes in that. You know, does that mean it's not true? So that's a cell phone. Well, nobody believes that. Does that make it not a cell phone? You use the fallacies to convince people of a point which isn't actually true, but it sounds that way. So, if we're tolerant, we can accept the conditions that come along. And that goes along with being always satisfied. Because if we're satisfied with what comes, some people are expecting to make 12 billion rand in a year, and they make 10 billion, and they think, my gosh, I'm 2 billion rand behind. If someone gave you 10 billion rand, would you think you're 2 billion rand behind? But if somebody has this as an expectation that the material world is going to line up and turn out exactly the way I want it to, is there a prayer that we can make the material energy turn out exactly the way we want it to? There is. You say, Krishna, today my wish is that everything turns out exactly the way you arrange it to. What we have to do is think, if I arrange my will to Krishna's, then I'm going to get my will, because I will be satisfied with whatever Krishna gets me, and then I get what I want. We can't think, what I'll do is I will surrender to Krishna Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm going to force him to do it my way, and we'll split every other Sunday, and this makes me 50% surrendered, correct? Is that it? It doesn't exactly work that way. It's like the one man, he was going to surrender 50% of the money he made on the lottery. So he went to the deity of Balaji and he said, my dear Lord Balaji, if I can win the million rand lottery, I will give you half. So he played the lottery and made 500,000 rand. And he says, my dear Lord Balaji, I'm so thankful that you helped me win this, but I have one question. Why did you take your half out first? So this makes him 50% surrendered, right? Because he realized Krishna took his half out first. But no, it doesn't work that way. So we're satisfied when we're surrendered, self-controlled and engaged in devotional service with determination. What does determination mean? When they have a court, has anybody been on a jury duty? They ask the jury, have you made a determination? Because you know what a determination means? It means that you've thought the things over, looked at the facts, and yet you've determined that this is the proper judgment or the proper course of action. It means that you've thought about it, done the Sankhya, which means you add up the cost to value, and you have determined that this is a good thing, and then you keep the determination to keep doing it. It means you made a decision. It doesn't mean, well, I'll try this today. It means that based on the facts, you determined and continue to be determined to act in a certain way. And mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So when out doing the books, if your mind intelligence is fixed on Krishna, people can see that you're tapped into something special. They can see and they may want to come to meet you. In the next verse, Krishna says, he for whom no one is put into anxiety and is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. Again with this, if we don't put others into difficulty, we'll go back to Vaisheshika's example with doing books, is what he does, he trains the people. He kind of uses the same idea that they do with like advertising. First, he tries to get people's attention. And if he doesn't get their attention, then he chases them and hunts them? No. If he doesn't get their attention, he's not attached. He doesn't disturb anyone. He goes to the next one. And then if he gets their attention, then he tries to create an interest. and then a desire. And then when you ask for money, they're happy to give it, because by creating a desire, what you've done is shown that the value is greater than the cost. It's just like if I tell you I want 100 Rand right now. You may be reluctant. But if I tell you I'm selling 200 Rand notes for 100 Rand, now it's not a problem, because I've established that the value of what I'm selling is greater than the price I'm asking. So to get this, someone has to have read these books, right? Like I could say I'm selling cricket bats. They say, oh really? And I'm selling cricket wickets. They say, how many times have you played cricket? Never. They said, which one's the wicket? Well, I don't really know what the wicket looks like, but you should buy one. I never used it, and I'm not sure which one of these appliances it is, but I know it's good for you. Does that convince you? If I say this one was sturdy and I used it in the game, but if I haven't done it myself, then I'm not going to convince you. So it behooves us to read a little bit of this. The problem with these books is if you don't read them, you don't find out what's inside them. They don't jump off the shelf and whisper in your ear. Unless you have one of those little boxes that's the lectures by Prabhupada, or it's, some people are maybe reading the ones, but you're still paying some active attention. It's like they used to say, does your watch tell time? No, I have to look at it. So, we develop this attitude doing books, and doing books helps us develop the attitude. In the next verse, Krishna says, my devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. Because the ordinary course of activities, when you go to do books, things may turn out differently. Or do you plan how things are going to turn out and they turn out exactly that way every day? No. So if you're not attached to that and you're not striving for some result, the idea is that you're trying to serve Krishna and you're not attached to whether the result comes or the result doesn't come. The next verse, he says, one who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious things and inauspicious things. Such a devotee as mine is very dear to me. So you talk to all kinds of people. You realize that all these people have something in common. This is, as we look for the commonality, we'll discuss that after the next verse here. In the next verse, Krishna says, one who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge and who is engaged in devotional service. Such a person is very dear to me. So he's equal to friends and enemies, and he's equipoised whether people honor you or dishonor you. And part it comes from that when we're going out to approach the people, there's a verse in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that helps us more to get this attitude of what we're approaching in the people. It's not Mr. Green Shirt and Mr. Red Shirt. We're remembering, as Krishna says, Vijavanaya Sampane Brahmi Kavini Hastini Sunyaya Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshanaha, that the humble sage, by virtue of true knowledge, sees with equal vision a gentle and learned Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater. Now these people seem to have quite different things. A dog-eater, and an elephant, what do they have in common? Elephants don't eat dogs. Dog-eaters don't eat elephants. So what do they have in common? It's the spiritual spark that's inside. Is that what we have to realize is that the vision, according to the modes of nature, the goodness, the passion, and ignorance, generally in goodness we're trying to do helpful things and we're in the present. Passion we're trying to exploit and we're jumping to the future. In ignorance we're lamenting about the past and we're intoxicated or violent. So the person in the mode of ignorance, he doesn't care about anybody at all. He just wants to get intoxicated and gets what he wants. The person in the mode of passion sees different kinds of people. Oh, here's somebody from this tribe. Here's someone from England. Here's someone from America. Here's someone that's a Tamil. Here's someone from a different African tribe. Here's someone from France. But the person in the mode of goodness sees one kind of spiritual nature inside of all the living entities. So when you're going out trying to get people interested in spiritual books, it's like if you go to the college and you have a book on how to be successful in college. You identify that these people are college people. You're a college person, aren't you? Yes, right? Like if I ask you that, you're a college. Great, because I have a book that says how to be successful in college. Will they be interested then? Yes. So these people are spirit souls. And we have books on how to be successful as a spirit soul. And if we have that energy and think, I have a book that will help you be successful on the real meaning of life. And if you're convinced with that, people will also become convinced. So this is the idea of how we try to develop these qualities, and we develop them on the field by trying to give these books, because we realize excuse me, there's such a great benefit to people. Prabhupada says in one quote, if you study my books carefully, you will find the ways and means for applying this Krishna consciousness in any spheres of life. So if you have read the books and found out how to apply it in your own life, it will be easy for you to direct that to others. And if you know things that are in the books, you may be able to quote something. Part of the thing, too, is to look for the different people. Just like if you're sick, you can go to Click's Pharmacy and the medicine is there, right? But will that help you? You got to find out what the sickness is. Like some people, how high the viral load is. Like some people got COVID and they get a low viral load. So they assume that it's not a bad disease. Someone else says, well, I had a cold and it must be the same, so I assume that. Someone else may have had a high viral load. So you have to go to the doctor to find out because you can't judge the whole picture by just your circumstance. But you have to go to the doctor for your circumstance. It's like if you say that, oh, you got sick with the dengue fever. Oh, good, let me give you some of my diabetes medicine. It works great for my diabetes. It should work good for the dengue fever, right? Shouldn't it? No? But if the medicine worked for me, won't it work for you? No. So it's like Krishna says this, that there's 4 kinds of people who surrender to me and 4 that don't. So quite often we ask questions, like Vaisheshika says, are you from Durban or are you visiting from somewhere else? He says, do you know about stress? Because there's 4 kinds of people who surrender to Krishna. One kind is in need of money. One kind is in distress. One kind is just inquisitive. And one kind is actually in search of knowledge of the absolute truth. And then we have 4 kinds that don't want to surrender to Krishna. One kind is called the Muddha. They just work hard like an ass, and they just want to enjoy sense gratification and get drunk and watch the television. They don't care about anything else. The Naradama, they're all connected to the social system and political system, and they're very good at doing what everybody else does. Oh, if everybody else does it, I'll do it. Right? 500 trillion flies can't be wrong, eat stool, right? If we'll go by the numbers, they're in the bathroom eating the stool, right? But it doesn't mean that by the numbers. But this is the way the Naradama thinks. Well, what's popular now? We should just do what's popular, right? Well, banging your head against the wall is popular. So then you bang your head against the wall? No. You do what's worthwhile. If you have a stack of money and I convince you money's not popular, you give it to me? Or would you rather say, well, I'll keep the money, it doesn't matter if it's popular or not? The next group is called the Maya Prita Jnana. They have great knowledge, but it's not connected to the knowledge about Krishna. And so they miss the real meaning of life. And then we have the demons, the asuras, who just do terrible destructive things. So these people don't surrender to Krishna. So we need to look for these people. And we realize that if we can find the right people, there's a big benefit, because we're talking about doing books and being dear to Krishna. One day I was looking for a shortcut to making progress in devotional service. So I'm looking through the Gita. Which chapter did I find it in? 18th chapter, of course. In the 68th and 69th verse, Krishna says, one who teaches this science to my devotees is the most dear, and never will there be one more dear. Then he says, and at the end pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he comes back to me. This is pretty good. This is the result. Like you say, if you do this, say, if you cross the street, I will give you 1 billion rand. Right? If I cross the street, I give you 1 rand, right? You want to know. So he says, if you do this, you get to go back to be with Krishna and not come back to the material world. And he says, there is no servant more dear, and never will there be one more dear. So we connect. Prabhupada says, without faith and love, someone cannot think of Krishna for even a second. So if someone just takes a book, this is why you try to sell them, because they've developed just enough faith to be inquisitive. Maybe they're not in search of surrendering to the absolute truth, but just enough faith that maybe I should be inquisitive about this. And that makes it a worthwhile endeavor. We try to show the books to as many people as possible, but you never know who the book goes to and what kind of success it could be. I saw a picture in 1975. The devotees did a book fair in Moscow. And you couldn't really distribute on the streets these kind of books. But there was one man who was the mayor of Moscow, and he got a book, and he was looking at it intently. Now, when Gorbachev was trying to make things right with the West, and called the perestroika, where they would try to get along, the hardline communists to take over, and the tanks came out to take over the parliament building, and this person who had read this book jumped on the tank and said, you will stop, you will go back, this is an illegal move. And this person was Boris Yeltsin. He became in charge of Russia, and he opened it up, and when Russia opened it up, now India is like the biggest country distributing books. But after he opened up Russia, something like 55% of the books worldwide were being distributed in Russia. Do you know that 70% of our devotees outside of India are in Russia and the former Soviet bloc countries? 70%. More than 2/3 of them are there. And that one book went, just look where that one book went. Right? It's like if you're in a battle and you're shooting a bullet, the sniper may hit one general and change the whole course. So we just like there, the course of history was changed. Russia opened up because of that. People can read these books and get knowledge. You see people read, especially advertising people read them. Like the one lipstick is called Infallible. Nobody but Prabhupada uses the word infallible. But it sure catches people's attention, doesn't it? If I say hard to beat or has few faults, but I say infallible, that's pretty absolute, isn't it? We find people read these, and I think some movie producer he'd gotten a book, and somebody says, you have to watch this, the last show, the finale of this series, Xena the Warrior Princess. So I thought, well, okay, I'll see what it's about. So Xena goes to India with her friend Gabrielle. And she's trying to find the true way. And this demon Indrajit comes and she has to fight with him. So then she's sleeping, and something jumps out of a tree. And she goes, "Who are you?" And she goes, "I'm Hanuman." He says, "Oh, well, maybe you can help me. I'm trying to fight the demon Indrajit." And he says, "Well, you should go to pray to Krishna in the temple." She says, "Well, I don't like to pray to demigods." You can see that they've really read something. She goes, "I have the demigods in Greece like Ares, and they're all so selfish." And Hanuman says, no, Krishna is different. He's not a demigod. He's a supreme personality of Godhead. And he's not interested in these selfish things. He can help you. So she went and prayed in the temple, and she heard a noise, and there was Krishna. And she says, "I'm in a dilemma because I'm a warrior woman, but I want to be devoted." And Krishna rattles off like 20 verses from Bhagavad Gita, obviously straight from Prabhupada's version, about how think of me in the form of Krishna, but do your fight. And he says that this is better to do your own duty than someone else's duty. And then he says, and when you get in real trouble, you call out my name. So she's fighting this demon, and the demon cuts off her arms, and as he is about to kill her, she says, "Krishna," and she sprouts like extra arms with weapons. Now, she's not saying she's the goddess Kali, but do you know that some Hindu people concluded that she's impersonating the goddess Kali, and they were all against this. But this was actually such a way of putting forth the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Just like in Vishnu Loka, Vishnu has 4 arms, right? And the other people have 4 arms. Are they impersonating Vishnu? No. She never said she was impersonating that, but when she called out Krishna's name, he fixed it. He gave her the verses, and when she called out the name. So we see that when these books get in the right hands, people can even make a show that's a fiction show, but it came in with verses from Bhagavad Gita. And Boris Yeltsin changed that, so you never know. And people have so many misconceptions about what we are. They thought we were the CIA in India. Myself went with Rabati Nandan Swami, and we knocked on the door, and these guys had the communist pictures, and they ran out the door, and he said, "Where are they going?" I said, "Didn't you see the communist pictures?" They thought we were the CIA hit squad. So we look for people who set these examples of how to preach and be detached at the same time. Nityananda would go with Haridas Thakur because Lord Chaitanya, who is the incarnation of Krishna in this age to teach us in this yuga or age what our dharma is. And it's to spread this Krishna consciousness, the holy names and literatures to as many people as possible. So he told Nityananda and Haridas, you chant Krishna, worship Krishna, and go to the doors in Navadvip and get the people to also chant Krishna and worship Krishna. So they would knock on the doors, and they would find some of these 4 kinds of people like I talked about who would take to it. People who are in search of money, people who are in distress, people who are inquisitive, people in search of knowledge of the absolute truth. But they also found the other kinds, the people who just do what everyone else do, the Naradamas, the Mudas, who just care about working hard and don't care what anyone else is doing. And of course, the Naradamas just go, well, this isn't what we do already. We just follow what our family's already done. And the other people thought they were such great learned Brahmins, they can't learn anything new. And it's true, if you think you can't learn anything new, you can't, right? Doesn't mean there aren't new things to learn, it just means you can't do it. Like I said, I sleep on the airplane. Someone says, well, I can't sleep on an airplane. I says, of course you can if you tell yourself that. You don't want to tell yourself you can't do certain things unless you don't want to do them. If you say, I can't take intoxication, that's okay. But if you say, I can't walk and I can't eat and I can't chant, you don't tell yourself. Make sure you tell yourself you can't do something that you're sure you don't want to do that. Don't say, I can't make any money. I can't make any friends. You don't say that. You say, I'm having some difficulty in it. So then, of course, there were those who were the demoniac. And there were also persons who were suspicious that these people must be coming to canvass our house to break in later and steal something. They probably do that in this country. If you knock on the door, they might think that, right? You're either trying to rob me now or canvass it for later. So Then the one day, they heard some commotion in the street. And Nityananda says, what's going on over there? Someone said, oh, that's Jagai and Madai. They are like the worst people. They're always drunk. They eat cows. If you criticize them, they'll rape your wife and burn your house down. So don't bother with them. Did Nityananda leave them alone? He said, no, in this age, we're here to help the most fallen. Now, of course, we go by this verse, he's a pure devotee. For us, there's three kinds of devotees. The Kanishta Adhikari is only interested in himself. The Madhyama Adhikari, he worships Krishna, makes friends with devotees, helps the innocent, but he avoids the contaminating association, like I read about. If we find someone antagonistic, we leave them alone. But a Mahabhagavata, a pure devotee, he can approach those. But we don't try that. If someone has an object so they're going to hit us, if we don't go away, we go away. We concentrate on the ones that are more favorable. I asked one person how he does well at books. He says, I spend 90% of the time with the 10% most likely to buy. So, they asked Jagai and Madai, come chant with us. They were very drunk and antagonistic, and they immediately got angry and chased Nityananda and Haridas. And Haridas said, a fine mess you got us into this time. But they were so drunk that they couldn't catch them, so they beat each other up. This is a problem with associating with drunk people. Like they have an organization called Al-Anon, which is for the families of people who are alcoholics. Because they quite often take all of their pain out on the ones they love the most. Now, this doesn't make sense, but this is the way the mode of ignorance is. The mode of ignorance, you think right is wrong and wrong is right, and you get it all mixed up. And this is what happens when you get intoxicated. So the next day they saw them again. But did they leave them alone? No, Nityananda says, I want you to come and chant. And Madai grabbed a pot and hit Nityananda, and he started bleeding. He says, I don't care that you've hurt my body. I care more about your soul than my body. And his brother Jagai says, look, this person is a saintly person. Even though you've hit him with an object and caused him to bleed, he still cares more about you. We need to stop. Now, Lord Chaitanya being Krishna, you see here in the form of Vishnu, he carries the conch and the lotus, the good signs, but he also has a club and the disc. If that disc is coming at you, you're over. So he came with the disc, he was going to kill them. And Nityananda said, no, you came to save the fallen people in this age. We try to kill their bad tendencies, not the people. If we tried to kill people with bad tendencies, we'd be killing a lot of people. So instead we try to change the tendencies, not get rid of the people. So they both said, yes, we will stop our sinful ways and we will serve you. And you know, they agreed to chant 128 rounds a day. And that's why we say that sinful is not a disqualification. Sometimes if somebody is so sinful or somebody is so drunk, they get themselves in so much trouble that they cry out to God for a solution. And you may find someone else who's living a fairly pious life but doesn't really want to surrender. They don't want to surrender because they have a nice wife and a nice home and a nice job and they worship God a little, but they don't feel this urgency to make a big change. Like if I tell you, you should do running as fast as you can, you might say, oh, I don't care about running. But if I pull a gun on you, you will automatically run as fast as you can, right? The sense of urgency is there. When I had the thieves here, I had the gun at my head in 1972 and they were arguing about whether to shoot me or not. I was under the bed. I chanted 2 very good rounds because the last one had to count. And he couldn't miss because the gun was at my head. So this urgency creates it. So when we have mistreated people, we need to rectify it or make amends or ask for forgiveness. So they defended so many people, it was really hard. So what they did is they built a bathing ghat on the Ganges, and they would take the people's shoes and they would clean the ghat, and they created a place for all the people to come. So we see that when we're giving books to people, we look for people who are favorable. We do like Vaisheshika does, and you look for people who might be favorable. You look at these qualities. You're not attached to the result. It's like if you're sorting. If I give you 1,000 papers here, And 900 of them are just blank. And the other 100 have 200 Rand notes. Now, so what that means is that you got 20,000 Rand. Or does it mean you just got junk paper 90% of the time? It's true, you only got trash 90% of the time. But the other 10% added up to 20,000 Rand. So was it worth it? Or you say, I don't want to sort through all that trash paper. Is that what you would say? No, it's worth it. So you just, if the people aren't interested, you go to the next. You're not attached. It's funny, there was a story, the starfish had washed up on the beach, and this one person was putting the starfish back in the water so they could live. And someone says, look, there's thousands of starfish. You can't help them all. He says, yes, but I can help this one. So if you help one person, if there's a big war and a doctor saves someone's life, and it's your life, was it worthwhile? Or you think, well, why save my life? So many lives are going to die. Of course it's worthwhile. So what we have to do is look at these circumstances, and we try to see how we can find out about people. Quite often, instead of doing lots of talking, we ask them questions like, oh, are you a student here? Is your life going perfectly, or you have some challenges? And then depending on how they answer, you approach it differently. Somebody shows up in a brand new Rolls Royce with a beautiful wife and several kids. You don't say, you know, when you're without money, you need to turn to Krishna. It's the right message for the wrong person. So you find out something about them. And if you create an interest in them, in these books, people will take them. Now, quite often, you know, in the old days, I could go to places like Reservoir Hills and do books. And we'll change it. You know, the Rand is worth 1/30 of what it was then. So I'll put it in today's Rand prices. What I had is I had a set of books, and then I had 2 more books, The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya and The Nectar of Devotion. So I would show these books, and I'd put them on one side, and then I'd explain these 2, and say, now the whole set is 1,200 Rand. Do you want the 1,200 Rand set, or would you rather just start with the 750 Rand set? Then you know what I say? What do you say? It's something you do in sales. If I say to you, do you want the 1,200 Rand set or the 750 Rand set? I've put the pressure on you now. I don't say another thing. I don't care if I have to look at you for 10 minutes. Till you come up with, well, I can only take the 7. You're offering them choices. Do you want the whole set of books or just the Bhagavad Gita? You don't say, do you want one or not? You give them choices that are both moving ahead. If I want to help you clean up, I say, do you want to stack the chairs or would you rather wash the floor? I'm not saying, do you maybe kind of want to sort of think about kind of doing some service? So you put the question on them. You say, this book explains Krishna's pastimes, and this book is his instructions. Do you want both of them, or would you rather start with one? Then you say nothing. You see what they do. A lot of it's done by questions. You find out something about someone. You know, if I'm trying to sell you the book, and I've gone through a whole spiel of verses from Bhagavad Gita, and you say, Je suis désolé, je ne peux pas parler en anglais. Whoops, I didn't even find out whether they spoke English or not. So you want to find out something about them. Oh, are you from Durban or are you visiting? Are you a student or do you work? You want to find out something about them and then give a book to them based on these spiritual principles that we've done here. We're trying to be a kind friend to them. We're giving something. We're giving... And then you say, we have these books that help you in life. You try to find out what it is. Oh, you have so many things, you're open for something more. And whatever it is, a solution is always going ahead with the book. If you say, oh, I already read lots of books. Oh, these books are perfect for someone who reads lots of books. Someone says, I don't read much. You know what? These are perfect for the people who don't read much. You want to think of the solution. Like one devotee was selling strawberry incense. He says, what is your astrological sign? They said, Scorpio. He goes, strawberry incense. The next person says, Taurus. He says, strawberry incense. Right? So the idea, well, it's the solution for all of them, right? Right? If you're like destitute and have nowhere place to live, and someone else is trying to start a new business, would 100 million rand help both of them? Or is it only applicable to one? Because everybody needs money. If people who are rich, they need to borrow money and get investors. They're begging for more money than the poor people are. The poor people want enough for food. The other people are begging for hundreds of millions of rand because they want to build another shopping center, and they need to borrow, use some of their money, borrow money, take some investors. They're begging for more money. So what do they have to prove? They have to prove that what you give, it is less than what you're going to get back. You give 100,000 rand, and at the end of 2 years, you'll get 200,000 rand. You have to prove that what you're getting is more valuable than what you're giving. And that's what we have to do in the books. We show them these books are very valuable. They should sell for many hundreds of rand, but we're just asking people to give a contribution, and it will help you out in any of your spheres of life. And if you have applied certain things yourself, you ask people, what is the main issue that you're dealing with? And then you say, you know what, I've dealt with a similar issue, and I found verses to help that. And which would be easier, you know, if you give books to 100 people, and they can read them in their own time and find a solution? Or should they all have your phone number and call you any time of the day or night? The book has more knowledge than you do, and when they open up the book, it doesn't wake you up in the middle of the night. So it's better to give them the solution than think, well, I'm going to explain the whole thing to them. And we explain just enough to get them to take the book. We don't want to explain too much philosophy. Like people say, oh, well, this helped me out of distress, and you give them 27 verses. It says, yes, this helps with distress. It will relieve you from that. Because you give too much, it's like someone tells you, oh, what time is it? So, well, let me show you how to build a clock. When someone asks you the time, that's the expression. They ask you the time of day, and you tell them how to build a clock. So you give a simple solution. And like someone was saying, they go out to do books. People argue with them. I said, well, when you go out, you have to think, what is my purpose? If the purpose is to do books, if I decide I'm going to go argue with people at the park, I'll go up to people and say, today's Wednesday. No, it's not. Yes, it is. But that isn't my purpose, right? Why are you arguing if that's not your purpose? If your purpose was to just go out and make ridiculous arguments with random people, then that's what you do. But would that really be your purpose? Does that make any sense? So if the purpose to do, you know, that's a good point. Why don't you give me your number and I'll call you later? You think of something to cut them off, or read this book and see what you think. You think of something nicely to disconnect from them. But there's the purpose is to connect people to Krishna through books. Having random arguments is definitely a diversion from that purpose. So when we go out, we have to remember that the purpose is to engage in this kind of devotional service, undeviating with determination, so we don't divert to other things that are going to make it difficult for us to get to that purpose. And we do it in a nice way. Prabhupada says we make a bold proposal in a humble way. We don't yell and scream at people. We don't cause problems, but we disconnect in some way. Because remember, when we're going out, our purpose is to connect with people and connect the people with Krishna. But a lot of that comes through questions. Where you say, oh, I wanted to show you one of these. Have you seen them before? You want to engage them. You want to ask them questions to see how they respond. And then from that, you can connect with them. If you just go on talking and talking without getting some response, because after all, to get the response to sale, you have to say these are 100 rand, or can you give a donation or something. So based on these spiritual principles and the practices of other devotees, we can be successful doing a large amount of books. Plus we can realize that if we go out and somehow the circumstances aren't good that day, maybe the banks were closed and it was payday, so nobody had money. Or people spent the money as soon as they got it. That can't happen, can it? Some people spend it before they get it. I don't know if they have it here, but they have like payday loans where I think they write them a check, and so before their payment comes in, so I write them a check for $500, and my payment, let's say I write them a check for $1,000, and when my payment comes in for $800, they cash the $1,000. They take $1,000. They take more. You can only get, if I get $1,000, I can only get the $800 loan, but they keep the $1,000. So, if we're convinced ourselves, and we know we're serving Krishna and we're successful no matter what, and number 3, if we are not attached to the result, but we sincerely hope people can benefit by these books, we can have some success. So I hope that sheds a little bit of light. Anybody have any questions or comments or corrections or? Yes? Somebody has to say something. Give it to him then.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
I want to know from where Krishna comes.
What?
Where Krishna comes from.
Krishna is the source of everything. That everything we know, everything comes from somewhere else. But if you track it all the way back, he's said to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Even the other incarnations of God come from Krishna. There's the verse, Ete Chamsa Kalam Pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Svayam, that even all the incarnations of God come from Krishna. So everything else has a source, but Krishna is the source of everything else. And this is hard for us to conceive of, because everything we see here, somebody has a parent, somebody created a product. So that's why it's called inconceivable, because our brain isn't used to things that are the source of everything and don't come from somewhere else.
Krishna comes from his mother, Devaki, and Vasudeva.
Someone else have a question? Okay. We can take questions from that side. Remember, when it's time for prasadam, I want some people to come sit with me. You guys came from maybe 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, maybe even 30. Peter Marisburg is 80. I came from about 20,000 kilometers maybe. I think that's as far as you go, because once you go past 20,000 kilometers, it's like around the world, you can only go halfway. It's a long ways from everywhere. Yes, question over there?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you very much. You gave us some very good skills that we never thought of in selling books. What I wanted to find out is what consciousness should you have when distributing books, and how do you develop that consciousness prior to going out?
This is why a good sadhana is good for this when we chant. It's like I tell people, I drive a car, I chant rounds, and I check emails on the computer, but not at the same time. Because any of those two things done together will create several big problems. So when you chant, you put the time aside to chant. And you chant very clearly, and you realize I'm going out first to please Krishna and the spiritual master, and then I'm trying to connect people to Krishna, and we're looking for people who want it. People who have one of those interests, even if it's just a little interest. People who have a need for them. It's like if you're selling water. So have you had some water recently? Are you thirsty? Do you ever get dehydrated? You ask these things. It's like, I have some water. You're not someone, you don't want to see someone if they just got like a 5-liter jug, and they just jugged the whole thing. Do you go to them and say, do you need some water? I'm selling some. You want to find. So what we're doing is we're looking for the people who might be interested, and it's going to be less than half But if you talk to 1,000 people and you're 10% successful, that's 100 books. So the main thing is to have the idea you're trying to serve Krishna and not be attached to the result, but still try your best. And that's difficult. We try when we're getting results, or we don't get results, we give up. But to try no matter what. And also you go in teams, somebody who's very accomplished, somebody who's medium, and someone who's new. And that way they work as an effort. Some of these groups work as a team, and then you get the team effort. And they don't feel like they have to compete with someone who's done this for like 50 years or something. Something more? Is it time for Artik? Okay. Denouncements? You're going to denounce me for all the mistakes I made? Or is it announcements? Okay. Thank you all for coming here. Remember, come take prasadam with me when they serve it. I came here to visit all of you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you to His Grace Kshudi Das Prabhu for such motivation for the book marathon and a very inspirational class. Today's Love Feast Prasad is prepared by the Unit 9 and 11 Namahasha, led by Tattva Darshan Prabhu, Radha Bhava Mataji, Priya Radhika Mataji and their team. A huge round of applause for them. So I also have an announcement about the book marathon that is currently underway. Srila Prabhupada's book marathon is a special endeavor where we invest time, energy, and focus in distributing Srila Prabhupada's books for his pleasure. This year, Sri Sri Radha Radhanath Temple has a goal of distributing 15,008 books and 1,808 Bhagavad Gitas. We are almost halfway through this goal and humbly appeal to everyone to play some part in reaching our target. There is also an opportunity for those who distribute Bhagavad Gita to have their name offered in a fire yajna in Kurukshetra on Gita Jayanti, which is the 22nd of December. That would be this coming Friday. A Bhagavad Gita costs just 100 Rand, and you are welcome to ask family and friends to purchase a copy or sponsor towards the distribution of Bhagavad Gita. You can purchase books via the temple book counter, our book office, which is behind the Prasadam marquee, over our WhatsApp catalog, and online temple site. Our book office team will be at the Lotus Market today, so if you would like any more information, please see the team there. As you all may have noticed, there is the Lotus Market that is taking place down at the grounds. Please, after you leave the temple, do visit. There's some beautiful stalls, there's delicious prasad, there's clothes and many other items for sale. I would now like to call Rukmani Devi Dasi Mataji, who would also like to share an announcement with you all.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I have a quick announcement. This holiday, Bhakti Theatre is organizing a performance arts workshop. And this is for kids and adults. And if you're a kid, it means 13 and above. And in a 4-day workshop from the 27th to the 30th of December, we will explore vocals, costume, acting, makeup, all the different components of theatre. And of course, we will do it in a way that will help the participants find shelter in Krishna through devotional themes, etc. So if you have kids at home or if you're bored in the holidays, this is something that you can engage in. The workshop will cost 100 Rand over the 4 days, and it will culminate in a closed performance for parents and relatives. So if you'd like to register, there'll be pamphlets that are going around. Also, you can just WhatsApp or email us to make a booking before the 22nd of December. We hope to see many of you there. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So just a reminder to please engage in the book marathon. Srila Prabhupada Book Marathon Ki Jai. And also, as Prabhu made a humble request, we are very indebted to Prabhu for all his efforts that he's put in South Africa We all are here sharing this beautiful temple and all the festivals, but it's our early devotees that came and put in so much of sacrifice. So Prabhu has made a request to please sit with him during prasad, and I hope that everybody takes up his invitation on that. So we now move on to the next part of our program, which is Aarti. And I would like to thank everybody for joining us today for today's Sunday Love Feast program. We look forward to seeing everybody next week Sunday as well. Safe travels back home. Hare Krishna.
Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Get out of the mic. Get out of the mic. Get out of the mic. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Get out of the mic. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody loudly, clap your hands.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Loud, everybody. Play Madanga.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Whoa. Whoa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Whoa. Whoa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare.
Everybody.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Everybody, clap your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Everybody. Whoa.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Everybody.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Whoa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody, louder, louder, company. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hey, Bila.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare. Hey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Everybody. Louder.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody hands in the air.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, baby. Hey, hey. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada. Everybody hands in the air. Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramahansa Ostata Sri Sriman, His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paramahansa Ostata Sri Sriman, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Gaudi Vaishnavini Ki. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki. Prem Shikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki, Jagannath Subhadra Balaram Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Ganga Mai Ki, Tulsi Devi Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Temple of the Vedic Planetarium Ki, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Mandir Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Namaste Nara Shringaya. Namaste Nara Shringaya. Prahlada Lada Dayenge.
Hiranyakashipurbhaksha Hiranyakashipurbhaksha Silantakanakalaye Itona Shinga Paratona Shinga Itona Shinga Paratona Shinga Yato Yato Yamitatona Shinga Vahina Shinga Ridayena Shinga Vahina Shinga Ridayena Shinga Tara Shinga Madim Sharana Prabhade Tabakara Kamala Bari Nakama Bhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipur Kanupringa Keshavadeta Narahare Rupa Jai Jagadesha Hare Jai Jagadesha Hare Jai Jagadesha Hare Hey Jai Nashingade Jaya Nashingadev, 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 Jaya Nashingadev. Jayo Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jayo Prahlad Maharaj. Jayo Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Prabhupada.